Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Stardew Valley here on the Game Professor channel. I'm your host, the Game Professor, and today, after a rather stressful first day of the new season, we are gonna jump right on in and get started. And what is our weather for tomorrow? Going to be a beautiful sunny day, and our fortune neutral. All right, so a slight net positive. And I think what we will do then, have a nice collection of seeds to get watered. And let's see here. So we have a good amount of gold, good amount of iron, got a good number of refined quartz right now. Speaking of refined quartz, let's get another set of glasses recycling. But first off, let's get everything watered. Kind of an important first step. And because of placement of my scarecrows, have to make an adjustment there. We can at least do a little bit going sideways, which is very slightly easier for me for some reason. But I think for today, because we're hurting for money, we are going to do a bit of fishing. Again, up at the mountain lake, because, well, for one, we can start to get... pardon me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. We can start to get sturgeon now that it's summer. And that is a really, really good fish to catch, worth a good amount of money. And I always try to get an iridium sturgeon in preparation for the luau in the summer, because it is a way to get the best outcome for the luau as far as the eating goes of the stew. So, always a good option in my opinion. And gold, I'd rather gold, not iridium. I don't think I've ever managed to get an iridium sturgeon, because they are actually quite difficult to catch. But just gonna finish up the watering, make sure everything is ready to go on this front. And I'll probably actually, just because I can, set down the bits of flooring. It's the gravel path in the spots for my sprinklers. I just find that that's a nice one to go with. Refill up the watering can. Try not to get too stuck on my my hops. But let's see, what else can I recycle quickly? Let's do some trash, actually, and I will leave that on my person. I should probably get something to eat as well. I'm a little hurting on the energy after all that watering. Let's see. Well, I have a morel there. That could be good. Oh, actually, what I should do, I should check my mushroom cave. Hi, Chester. Here you go, buddy. Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's a nice little collection. Got some common mushrooms that I can just eat right now. Get a bit more energy up. And then I will probably just do that for now. If I need a little bit more energy while I'm up at the fishing location, I can just go for any algae that I'm picking up. Wonderful. Oh, get another bit of trash going in there. Just for good measure. And we're off. And I usually try to have a little bit more money at the start of the season like this. We can at least hopefully get our forageables pretty quickly. Already got our spice berries. Nope. Give one to Linus. No, give it to Linus. This is a great gift, thank you. You got it, Linus. What else do you have to say? Have you come to ridicule me? I'm just minding my own business. Well, I'm not here to ridicule you, Linus. I actually really like you. I consider you to be a friend. So don't push me away. Alright. We will see how good my fishing is without any tackle. I usually kind of need the trap bobber to help me get sturgeons, so we'll see how this goes. And hopefully we will be able to get enough money quickly so that we can actually get the iridium rod finally. And we can use bait and tackle. But starting with some carp. Ooh, gold and diamond. That is a pretty good collection there from the chest. Always good. But now that we're into summer in this playthrough, a really interesting thing to start thinking about is we're starting to see a bit more of the development over time. That was a sturgeon there, so you can see why the trap bobber is very helpful. It's quite an active fish. And now we're seeing a little bit more of the really intelligent design elements that ConcernedApe put into this. So we're starting to see the change of the crops that you can make, the change of fish that are available, the change of forageables that are available, all of that. And it naturally, in terms of my project for this playthrough, what I really appreciate about it is that it makes you think about the environment of the game and the environment of the world of the game, which frankly is something that we should be doing in the real world at all times. You don't have to be a tree-hugging hippie to appreciate the environment and be more environmentally aware. So it's very interesting to see the ways that this game really encourages just a very general sense of awareness, and you really start to get a taste of that with the changing of seasons and the considerations that you have to make. I didn't mention this last time, I don't think, but whenever the letter from Evelyn arrived, but Evelyn tells us, well, you're gonna have to be aware of the crops, and it's a simple thing, but it is an element of realism in this game that makes a really big difference in the level of engagement that you can have. So, really fun to consider. Oh, I'm sorry. I got very quiet there for a second. My wife and the cats are trying to attract each other. I don't... Ah, I see what's happening. It's treat time for the cats. And Chester figured it out! Good job, Chester! Good job, Chester. If you hear meowing, that's Fuzzy. Fuzzy is very food motivated. Chester is not. Chester doesn't usually figure out that it's treat time just from the sound of the treats. He usually needs to get carried over to the treat bowl. So, this is a moment of excitement in the world of Fuzzy and Chester. But, oops, just kicked my mic. Sorry about that. But back to what I was saying. The realistic elements of this game in terms of making there be variance between seasons and making you have to change the crops you're growing based on the season and consider how you're making money. Just got a sturgeon. Excellent. So we will store 2 of those probably once we get a second. Always good. We know that we are set for the luau now. But again, the big thing to consider with the realism is just the heightened awareness that it creates for the player, and how that really models a type of awareness that you can have in the real world. I mean, this kind of awareness is something that farmers and hunter-gatherers and everything kind of always had going on throughout their lives in the centuries before now. And we live in a very different time with the fact that most people are not farming, they're not hunting and gathering, they're not doing all these things, but there still should be this awareness. So, very interesting to consider, very fun to consider, and really appreciate within this game. So, I always find this first change of seasons being a cool little wake-up call to that. And naturally, I very much live in the world of the wiki usage for this game, and I'm not actively using the wiki right now, but I have used the wiki for a fair bit, so I have gained a lot of my knowledge of aspects of this game through paratext. Basically, a paratext is something outside of the actual text of the game in this case. So it is about the game, and it can potentially inform you about the game, but it is not an actual part of the game. Typical types of paratext that you would experience with literature are going to be the cover image, any blurbs that are on the back of the book, any reviews that are used to determine, am I going to buy this book? Am I going to read this book? All of these elements. I mean, even the font that is used can be considered an element of paratext. So, very crucial to consider, and it's crucial to be aware of it. But in the case of a game like this, and really a case of many games, the paratext of any guides or anything that are available are going to add additional knowledge to it. I can only imagine trying to like playing this game in early access or something like that, when there wasn't all this information available, and learning these things organically in the game and the impact that could have on the player. Obviously something I will never experience, but very interesting to consider, and interesting to think about the greater impact that it could potentially have in terms of the thought-provoking qualities of the game in regard to the concept of the changing of seasons and the awareness one has to have on that front when planning what to do, thinking about what to grow, what you're going to be looking for in terms of the forageables and all that. So very fun, very cool to consider. I mean, the great thing about the game itself, going between the text versus paratext concept, you may have noticed a perfect textual feature of the game that gives a lot of this information, and that is, in particular, living off the land on the TV. There's a reason I always watch it, even though I know pretty much all of the information, or watch. My player character watches it. But I always make sure that I see what it says, for one, because I don't remember which days are which in that regard, but also because I want to have that in-game experience of learning this information about the game, about how to do things within the game, all that. And it's really smart game design in that sense. 1040, yeah. I think we're good to go off to bed now. Definitely got some good fish to sell. Like I said, the sturgeon will be keeping. Even though it's really good money, I don't want to risk not having it. Actually, now that I think about it, we'll need to store 3 eventually, because 1 will be needed for the lake fish bundle at the community center. Then 1 for the luau, and then another 1 I'll use for the the Grange display. Let's see here. My carp I will store. I'll keep my algae. Keep the sturgeon. And yeah, we will sell all the rest. Get the chub out of there. Doop-a-doo. Yeah, I'll sell those gems as well. I'm not... just as a means to get a little bit more money. Same thing with the spiceberry and the grape. I will find plenty of those. I'm not going to be worrying about that. There we go. Let's see here. See if there's anything else I want to smelt overnight. Well, actually... we will do this. There we are. Get a little bit more refined quartz that way. Actually, because I said I was going to do that this morning and never did it. Do I have any... I have the cobblestone path. Don't want to do that. Let's get some stone. How many? 15. Get that. Get my gravel path. And now I have a spot to put all of my sprinklers once I have my sprinklers. And the reason for doing this, for anybody who doesn't know, is that it will allow you to hoe around the sprinkler without digging up the sprinkler. So it just removes an extra little piece of work that you would potentially have to do. But with that, off to bed. Already got Chester on the bed. And we'll see how much money we made. Ooh. That was a noise. I believe that is the opening up of the spa area. But just shy of 3,000. Not bad. Not bad at all. And we are on day 3. Well, I don't know when my microphone cut out, so hopefully that was short-lived. But what I was talking about is approach of this game and thinking about how to consider the process of playing this game. So, in case I was not audible when I last said this, let me know down in the comments below how you would approach playing this game and how you would approach the process of thinking about the difference of getting to know villagers versus establishing your life in Pelican Town. And because I'm inadvertently falling into my usual patterns of focusing on getting the farm started, really starting to establish myself as the farmer of Pelican Town, and will eventually start getting more into the relationships as the game goes on, because I'm really, even though I wasn't consciously making the choice to do that, I think that I'm starting to think about this as a long-term playthrough and thinking about what we could be thinking about down the line with everything, and in terms of how this game commentates on the world and kind of the process of changing of lifestyle that is really being suggested by this game. So let me know down in the comments below or on the Discord what you think about that. I really love thinking about that because in regard to this game, because the commentary it presents is about a change of lifestyle and a change of approach to living in the world, and a change of considerations for the world in general. So definitely a really cool thing to think about, and definitely a really cool conversation to have with you all. So let me know what y'all think. And I apologize again, I just kicked the mic again. One of these days, I'll get a desk mount for my microphone. Right now, I'm using a boom stand that definitely works, but I end up kicking one of the legs quite frequently, or one of the cats will play with one of the legs, which always makes things interesting. But I think I'll go until midnight tonight. I think I still have a good amount of energy. I don't have anything else I need to do on the farm tonight, so I can take the energy penalty for the next day. Don't mind that, especially now that I have the spa open. But I really just want to maximize the money I get tonight, so we'll go until midnight and then run on back, because that should give us enough time to get everything into the bin and sold. And hopefully in the next episode, either tomorrow in game or the day after, we will be able to get the iridium rod finally. And also we'll probably try to get some mining in, because we do still have some progress to make in the mine. So definitely want to get going on that. Not quite to the bottom yet. So hopefully we'll get a few more fish here. Polish off the night. And hopefully eventually I'll get a glow ring, so these late night fishing sessions aren't so dark for you all. Because I always forget how dark it is in game without the glow ring, but and how difficult it is without a glow ring, but I also don't mind how dark it is. It's almost kind of more relaxing in that manner for me. Alright, it's midnight. Get one more fish. Looks like a chub. Beautiful. Alright, off we go. Back to the farm to sell everything. And that will finish off the episode. So, definitely a productive couple of days. This should hopefully put us in the position we need to get the rod, or at least get us close to it, so that we'll be able to start using tackle and bait, which will only help us catch things faster. Let's get a newspaper recycling. Lovely. So we are going to... I'll sell both rubies, actually. Why not? No real reason to keep them. I will sell the Joja Cola because I do not care about Joja Cola. Shoot. I was going to keep the gold rainbow trout. Whoops. Well, more money is more money. That is the approach. It's not the end of the world if I do that. Always have to remember that. But say goodnight to Chester and to sleep for the night. So, thank you everyone for watching this episode. Definitely a good productive set of days. All right, just over 3,000. So, yeah, then one more day of fishing or mining, whatever it is, next time, we should be able to get the iridium rod. So, definitely a productive couple of days. Got our crops going right the way we want them for this summer season. But thank you, as always, for watching. Be sure to leave any comments and thoughts down in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button so you always know when I have new videos coming out. And always think about following those links to the Facebook page or the Discord server so that you can be an active part of the conversation. Always looking for more voices to enter that conversation so we can really kind of build a community here. That's the whole point of this channel. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. This is the Game Professor, signing off.